Ladies and gentlemen, the egg, a neatly packaged, bite-sized, special little chunk of protein, fat, and more vitamins and minerals than you may be aware of. In this video, I want to make the case for the laying hen and why it should be the top priority animal for any family that's trying to raise food for themselves. Now, we can argue about which protein source is the cheapest, fastest, or easiest to raise. But one thing that's not up for debate, it is the egg. The egg is the most balanced source of protein that you can produce right there in your backyard. It is essentially a superfood that contains a perfect balance of all 9 essential amino acids that the human body requires to exist. There are 20 amino acids total, 9 of which are essential, which means they have to come in from dietary intake. The other 11, our body can synthesize them on its own as long as we have the other 9. And the 9 essential amino acids are all inside this semi-permeable little shell of calcium carbonate crystals. For those of you that didn't go to school, amino acids are vital to human function, growth, and repair. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein, and the protein in these eggs have the best amino acid profile of any food I've ever researched. They are perfectly matched for the human body's needs. And please don't think that store-bought eggs are the same as backyard chicken eggs, because they're just not. While they do have extremely similar macronutrient profiles, which is proteins and fats, the backyard egg, or free-range egg in particular, is superior. And that's because their diet is so much richer. They don't eat the meal feed. They eat some, but then they run around and eat crickets and all kinds of other bugs and stuff. And that leads to a slightly better macronutrient profile, but an extremely better micronutrient profile. It's not just about the proteins and the fats, total grams, because the proteins and the fats both are very complex. Backyard eggs are better than store-bought eggs because they have more vitamin A, D, E, selenium, even iodine. And iodine is very important. I think it's over 70% of the U.S. population is iodine deficient. Every cell in your body has an iodine receptor. So it's important. And when you don't get enough of it, you end up with a long list of thyroid issues, hormone issues, all kinds of stuff. And iodine deficiency even makes you overly sensitive to cold weather. While everything I've said thus far is important, they are peripheral issues in comparison to the elephant in the room. In my opinion, the 2 areas where backyard eggs shine is the amino acid profile, which we already talked about, but possibly more importantly is the fat profile. And I'm emphasizing backyard eggs, the free-range chicken eggs. They typically have less saturated fat and less cholesterol than the store-bought eggs, but they have a lot more omega-3 fatty acids. And that is the elephant in the room. Now, I want to be completely honest and clear the water before we go any further. I am a redneck from southern Mississippi. I'm nobody in sight of the world. I'm not a cellular biologist. I'm not an endocrinologist. I'm not a registered dietitian or nutritionalist, but I listen to these people all the time. And one of my top 5 interests in this life is knowing what to put in my body to keep it going in the right direction. When I developed asthma in my late 20s and spent a week in the hospital, literally knocking on death's door, I survived that only to fight what they call dishydrotic eczema and chronic inflammation and some more autoimmune issues for the next couple of years. And I finally found the cure. It's kind of disheartening when you go to a dermatologist, a skin doctor of 30 years, and you show him your hands and feet and they're all blistered up and scabbed and bleeding, and he says, nobody knows where it comes from, there's no cure, here's some cream, good luck. Turns out, what you put into your body really matters. Look how clean, or maybe not clean, but clear. Let's get back on track. Omega-3 fatty acids are where backyard eggs shine the brightest, because most Americans do not get enough omega-3 fatty acids. Your omega-3s and your omega-6s have to be balanced for your body to function as it was intended to function, because they both compete for the same enzymes, but they have opposite inflammatory effects. Omega-3 fatty acids have anti-inflammatory effects, but omega-6 fatty acids have inflammatory effects. Omega-6s are found in fried foods, processed foods, vegetable oil like corn and canola oil, grapeseed oil. All that's really high in omega-6 fatty acids. And when you have a high omega-6 to low omega-3 ratio, you're asking for chronic health issues, especially cardiovascular trouble. When there are too few omega-3 fatty acids in your diet, that leads to chronic inflammation. And a lot of people wonder why they walk around hurting all the time. They feel like a slug and their blood pressure's 1,000/500. Now don't hear me wrong, omega-6s are essential. Omega-3s and 6s are essential. Omega-9s, they're non-essential. Your body can synthesize those if you've got omega-3s and 6s. But your omega-3s and omega-6s have to be balanced for your body to function as it was intended. 1-to-1 is considered ideal. You can even go from 1-to-4 ratio, but a study came out not long ago and it shows that most Americans are 20-to-1 or over 20-to-1 omega-6s to omega-3s. And we wonder why we hurt all the time and got all these problems. And the fix is profoundly simple, albeit not easy, especially in Southern culture. So how do you do it? Step 1, eat backyard chicken eggs and eat good fatty fish. And everything you eat, cook it in good quality rendered down animal fats. Step 2, stop eating everything that you put in your mouth deep fried in vegetable and seed oils with a heavily processed grain crust on it, and stop eating anything that's shelf stable in a cardboard box or a plastic package. Now that part's difficult. Look, you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. You don't have to listen to me if you don't want to. That's fine. I don't have to walk around in your body, so you can eat what you want to. But I'd be willing to bet my next paycheck that there's not one of you watching that would say, you know, tomorrow I want to wake up and look and feel worse than I do today. There could be a healthier you as early as tomorrow morning, and it starts with God's nutritional gift to humanity, the backyard chicken egg. If you have backyard chickens, letting them forage for at least some of their own food is crucial to having the highest quality eggs that you can get. But I'm well aware that many of you can't let your chickens out and just roam the neighborhood for several different reasons. But I have a cheap trick you can try. GrubTerra just gave me a new link and a new discount code to share with all of you. And it's good for 20% off. Yes, 20%. That's 1/5 off of your first order, so make it count. Their black soldier fly larva is ethically and sustainably raised in developed countries on pure food waste, not animal waste. And every pound of larva sold is 20 pounds of food waste that don't get buried in our landfills. The 20% off link and discount code will be in the description. And if you're not ready yet, just write this code down, Gibson Branch 20. And use it at the checkout whenever you're ready. I meant to say that in the beginning, but I forgot. My apologies. Anyway, y'all be good. Don't do dumb stuff. God bless, and we'll see you next time.